I just go? Do I introduce myself? I mean, you did it. I did just want to say one thing before I start reading. I've been watching a lot of news, and thank you. The whole I Am Charlie and the things that happened there made me really think about how fortunate we are to be able to read the crazy shit that we do read. And I know I write some stuff that's not exactly pleasant. So I just, I don't know. I just wanted to mention that. Thankful, and I'm sorry that happened. Okay. Speaking of uplifting things, go right into it. Death is surrounded by a huddle of life that will live beyond when the deceased transcends to their desired realm. Lucidly drifting copes the living with what we have beyond the soil underneath us, and provides the strength we will need when our gaze is splintered. Creatures bequest and influence their loved ones, which is expected to flourish and will no doubt be relished within them. Ebony tides hold, and the seventh one that rolls in dominates the previous. Cove foam concentrates around the speckled rocks, while deathless water grumbles in patience. The swell will raise through the energy of the ocean floor, and the Earth's hydrosphere curves herself through the disturbances, while simultaneously soothing the life forms beneath her, within her, and on the shore of her. Shallow pools foam with the seaweed as heavy sand pulls their saline water tighter, reducing the depth. Integers of light spill through the seamless wave mounds, pouring into each other to breach the land's start. Melting time in hot sand, the water sifts black grains to the corona surface and stays around her. She brushes rough edges to their smooth sides as pebbles congregate and the clouds tear themselves apart to connect with a mere wisp. The fuchsia strains through her concord stripes to poach what was once gray. Plastered to the sand, she placed her hands in a heart center and bowed forward, then moved her thumbs to the center of her forehead. Missiles will cascade through the portals of her mind into visions of a technicolor waterfall, which opens to a two-faced plant and a cushion of revolving reflections. Those reflections transform and crisp at the edges, switching their bountiful colors into homely, rotting avocado faces. She sets her focus deeper into the deadening fallacy, diving into its wretchedness of suicidal friends. Next, with glowing rips, smile into a surrender of merciless howls, and the stretch tightens as the blood vessels milk their wrath. Falsome women drag their swirling bodies up the rooted canvas, puncturing their bellies as an envelope unfolds. A ruby strikes through with confident smirk, and there's a legend's center ring. She lengthens her stare into his cardinal teeth and feels her body weaken. Her legs turn to toothpicks as his arms cushion into ungodly masses, and she remains trapped in her body. The prisms duplicate through his ruby ring, and facial matter swirls into another section. The winds shift, which rustles her fingertips with dew, to light her tongue as the dawning slushes onward. She wiggles first her toes, then her mouth, and her arms begin to twitch, then tingle. Bold kelp outlines her hips that descends into a pile of mangled counterparts. Her body moves slowly while her mind's compass flutters in a breach of unlimited capacity. As her bones settle to their sitting position, the land's corpse blisters her with the sand current to have her eyes set back. Time defeated with only a flanking of what could be done to control what everything is and coming to be. Silent women with beautiful voices curl themselves into the Viking's hat. They remain there. She feels an overwhelming gain in her limbs and grasps the horns. Her hands alone connect to the furthest in time. Constricted eyes will slip over her body, and she is joined by the man with the broken watch. Her hands flinch as she laces her fingers with his. His thoughts tread to hers with high animosity and crooked intentions. They both look to the cypress spiraling on the embankment to find one picture of clarity. The clearness that it all makes sense in a live world pronounced dead. The clothes she wears separate, with the top at her waist and long socks below her toes. The satin ribbon circles her neck instead of her ponytail. Birds alike peck the ground in search of feed in an unnourished platform, and her vision booms to pulsate the tiny hops of every bird, and her middle fingers cross over her index fingers. Her breath is slow and her mind is lightning. A wave spurs and soaks into her dress. She stays dry. The initial cut has saturated her left side. He presses the incision, knowing a suture will only idle. Flesh unfolds on either side of the cut to reveal each tissue layer. He was there when the blood was burgundy. The forearm is in hindsight, with him unwilling to wallow for the stupidity of pursuance in something that has been diluted. Our fallacies run production to kill the infant structure of divergence, and running with lead can only limit the limbs before it all ends. Sinking sands, we stand united. She moves.